Hey everyone, how are we all doing? I wanted to make a video on why I bought this, the DJI Action 3 over the GoPro Hero 11. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right, so I wanted to go over what you do get in the box. So firstly, you get the camera, you get a cage to put the camera in. You also get this magnetic clip. You do not get this base. This is off something else I bought. You get this magnetic clip here. Let me put that there for you. You also do get, obviously, don't know what you call this really. I guess it's the screw type thing that you'd normally get on your GoPro. This is actually one from Peak Design. It's a really nice metal one. And lastly, you get this suction cup thing, so you can put it on your car shower if you're into that kind of thing. Wants to go over also what else I bought. So I bought this on sale. This is from Small Rig, so this is a metal version of this magnetic clip. Now what I really like about this is how compact it is. As a second one, the clips come out like so, as you can see there. Let's get it into focus. There you go. And last thing I really like about it, which they did not talk about, is this. So this allows you to then screw it into your selfie tripod. The reason why they include this cage is so that I will show you with this one. So you can do, where is it now? Vertical shooting, although those magnets do not like me. Anyway. The reason why they include this is so you can do vertical shooting, because there is only a clip at the bottom here. That's why it wasn't working. Have this around the right way. I've just figured that out. That's actually quite a good feature to have. Anyway, so that in there will allow you to do that. However, I have a tripod that was actually for a phone, which allows me to do vertical shooting anyway, so I can just do that anyway without the need of this cage. However, when I do my cycling content and maybe some more rigorous testing of the camera, I probably will use this. Accessories I bought for it: screen protectors on everything you might be able to see, just because why not? And I bought this. Now, if you had the Action 2, you probably remember the fact that you had a magnetic clasp that you could basically put underneath your t-shirt and you could snap as so. I wanted to get one of these for it because, again, I do a lot of POV content, so you can see there how that works. This just goes around your neck, underneath the t-shirt, snap that in, and you're good to go. So no big heavy bulky straps clipping in, all those kinds of things. Maybe looks a bit silly. This is a lot more discreet, and especially when you're wearing something like a hoodie or a coat, you do not notice this at all, and it is right there, right centered. I used to use a Peak Design catch clip where this was attached to my rucksack. However, it is off to one side and it's a little bit less predictable where your rucksack is in relation to what you're doing, but this will solve all of my issues. So that wraps it up for what you get. These cameras, they're not cameras, are they? They are not. Now, let's go over design. So, the Action 3 weighs in at 145 grams, has two displays, one at the front, one at the back. Both are touchscreen. The front display on the GoPro Hero 11 is not touchscreen. So obviously if you're recording selfie type style, you can obviously be tapping, swapping. You're not trying to do it from the back. So that's really handy to have. Both cameras have removable lenses, so you can unscrew, if you can ever get it to unscrew. You can unscrew these lenses here in the event that you ever damage them. That is where their similarities end. It is also worth mentioning, if you're going to be using this for diving, the Action 3 can go up to 16 meters without needing an additional case, where the GoPro can only do 10 meters. So if you're into diving, this may be what you want to pick up. Another thing to note is the microphone array. So you do have microphones on the front and on the top. I will do a microphone test. all be well. Obviously I don't have the GoPro here with me today, so I won't be able to test that out, so you would have to go to a different video to see the audio quality with that. But I will do an audio test for you guys with this, but I think you'll be surprised how good it is, and it is really quite useful if you are doing vlogging, whether that obviously be vertical, horizontal, and so another thing on the design perspective, GoPro use their traditional mounting system. However, DJI have kept with the same magnetic system that they used on the Action 2. However, I do feel like they've refined it slightly since they first brought it out. So as you can see, you've got your clip here. We'll get that into focus over my face. Okay, we can't focus. You have your clip, your GoPro, it is magneted as you can see, and then it clips in like so. I really prefer this because for me, I can have what I want set up, whether I am shooting in my car, on my bike, or out POV style. It's really easy just to unclip. Some people are concerned because you haven't actually screwed it in that it would come off, but I think I've never seen any issues with anyone having that come off. So you always want to make sure that it's on properly to start with, and I think if you do that, you're never going to have any issues with this coming off the bracket. But it is something to point out if you're really concerned. Maybe you're doing some high speed, or maybe you are diving or anything like that. You may want to think about using a more secure method than just the magnets and clips. So both cameras can shoot in 4K 60 FPS or up to 120 FPS if you want that slow-mo footage. However, the GoPro does have a bigger sensor, so this has a 12 megapixel sensor. However, the GoPro does have a bigger sensor at 27 megapixels, and it is also worth noting that the GoPro can shoot in 5.3K. So if maybe you are a professional, maybe you're even taking some photography with these, and you really need those extra pixels, it may be worth considering the GoPro over something like this. However, I have found in my testing that the Action 3, the wide angle is quite a bit wider than you get in the GoPro, and there's another reason why I picked it, because I typically on this channel do POV content. So for me to have that wide aperture so you guys can see everything that I'm seeing and everything that I'm doing, it was really important for me to always have that widest angle lens and keep that 4K 60, 4K 30, or even 120. So that was the reason why I picked this over that, just because it isn't so cropped in, and it gives me a bit more freedom, and I don't have to think about it so much when I'm recording content for you guys. So originally when the DJI came out, it did not support 10-bit color. However, this is something that they have remedied in a future update quite a while ago now. So both the GoPro and the Action 3 both support 10-bit color. Also, there was an issue when these first came out about focusing. They wouldn't focus on your face, they would focus on what was behind you. Again, that is something that's been fixed for absolutely ages now. So if you're watching reviews where they're talking about this, chances are you don't need to worry. That must be an old video because they fixed it in the update where they did the 10-bit color as well. So moving on from performance, we are going to talk about stability. So both cameras support 360-degree horizon lock. The Hero 11 can do that up to 5.3K, whilst the DJI is limited to 2.7K 60 FPS at those angles. So what that allows you to do is you've got the camera like this and you can do 45 degrees each way and your horizon will always stay perfectly locked. It is also worth noting that when you're using these modes, you will be cropped in. So you are losing image quality when you're doing that. Both do offer excellent stabilisation, however, and it's hard to say which system is superior in my opinion. So moving on to batteries, Both batteries are about the same in capacity. The DJI is about 50 milliamps more, so not really any difference there. Both are cold weather resistance. However, DJI does win this one. It can go down to -20 without having any issues. That is Celsius, whilst the GoPro is only limited to -10. Also worth noting that the Osmo 3 does have fast charging, offering about 80% charge just in 18 minutes. That's absolutely great. If you've only maybe not bought the Adventure Combo, you've only got one battery and, you know, you're out and about, it's dying, you can quickly plug it in, you know, have something to drink, have something to eat, and it will be fully charged for you. However, the GoPro needs about 2 hours to be fully charged. You can see the difference there, you know, really big if you are actually out shooting in the field and you need that quick recharge ready to go. Last thing to talk about, both do include time lapses and hyperlapses. Pretty traditional stuff really. You can control them both in the camera themselves and in their respective apps. I can't really say that there's any differences between the two. I will say, however, I feel like the DJI app does connect a lot quicker than the GoPro app connects to the GoPro, which is really nice if you want that on the go. Maybe you want to use your phone as a viewfinder. It's a lot quicker to do that, a lot simpler with the DJI over the GoPro. I find that there's a lot less bugs, a lot less issues, and it just works better. So coming down to the conclusion, why did I pick this? Even though it might seem that the GoPro Hero 11 does have a lot more features and capabilities than the DJI does, I think when you take into price versus performance, there's not a significant difference between the two. However, the price, that is a big difference. And obviously the DJI does have its own set of advantages. And if you guys would like to see a more in-depth video of the DJI, now I've been using it for quite a few months now, please do let me know, because I would like to do a more in-depth video. However, I do think if you're color grading and want to be tweaking your footage, maybe in low light situations, that's when you might go for the GoPro, just because of its 5.3K. It does have better color grading potential. But if you're more like me, where at the moment you're not really color grading, you're not delving into that realm, and you just want good footage straight out of the box, I think the DJI is more for you.